The final version, we're going to add some sound to this. We want to pre-initialize our mixer with a larger buffer size for better performance. So this isn't very much memory, but apparently it's a little bit more than the default. We initialize our PyGame, create our surface, create our Flappy Bird caption, time.clock. Now we're adding an icon to the upper left-hand side of the program, which is right up here. So it looks cool, doesn't it? Have a little icon there. That's what this is doing. All the images and sounds are in the assets zip file that you downloaded and extracted earlier. And then we set the icon on PyCon. Makes it look cool. We also want to load some music. I set the volume down so it's not so obnoxious. You can go from 0.0 to 1.0. I did it at 0.3 because it seemed to me to be about right. This just says keep playing the song until it gets stopped. Scoring. We start at 0, of course. We're going to track game over. We have to track when the bird passes the pipe. We're also creating a font. Arial Black 18. There, see how it's updating the score? And it's bold enough that you can see it. Even though it says Arial Black, you could see that it wasn't black. It was indeed white. Arial Black is the style of the font, and that's 18. And you, of course, can change all that. This is all stuff we've done. We've loaded the background. We've updated the background, initialized the bird. We're updating the bird. We initialized the pipes, all stuff we've done. Reset pipes. Here we're increasing the difficulty. If the score is greater than 20, we're going to change, oh, I got it backwards, 3.5. So we're making it narrower. We're making the height of the gap, we're making the gap size narrower. Here is narrower than it was. So if it's greater than 20, well, if it's not greater than 20, but it's greater than 10, oh, if it's not, then we don't make any changes. As soon as we reach 10, we add 2 to the pipe speed, and we increase the height, which just means that we are making the distance shorter. Here we're making the distance even shorter, but keeping the speed the same. The increased speed the same. We also need to track, did the bird pass the pipe? Remember, self-score counted. And we have detected before. Display the score is a new one. We render our font with the self.score in it. That's our text. We're going to anti-alias it, which I'm not going to go into at this time. Just makes it smoother on the screen. We want a white color. And then in the display score method, we're blitting the text surface at 3 and 3, which means that it's always going to be in the upper left-hand side. And it updates each frame, so as the score changes, and we get past the bird, get past the pipe, get past the pipe, that flips the, well, let's get to that. Once we get past the pipe, okay. We display the score after everything as the last thing that we do. Let's go back up here. So there's our display score. Here's our display game over. Well, we've added a few things to this. We're stopping the current background sound, loading a crash, playing it, setting the volume at 0.3. We wait for 2 seconds while the crash plays in the background. So this runs on a separate thread. We build up our same menu. This time I did orange for whatever reason. Flappy Bird, space between buttons. Score renders the score with the self.score variable. We add a label that's just a spacer again. Then we put play again, spacer, exit. And we sit in that loop until we click a button. Crash! And the spacing, I thought, made it look nicer, but we either play again or we exit. Well, I didn't do so good on this game, so my score is 0. Now, if the bird makes it past the pipes, then the left of the bird is greater than the upper right of the rectangle, which means that it's past the, if it passes this, it has passed both pipes, which I didn't obviously do that. And the problem is it's hard to find out it's hard to determine, I discovered when I was doing this, to determine when you're past the pipe. So I had to set this score counted in order to say, and flip it over once, otherwise it counted it multiple times. So we increase the score, we set score counted equal to true. On the next cycle, where is it here? We set score counted equal to false. That means the bird has passed. There's somewhere else I did. Yeah, here. When we initialize it, we set it to false. So we can determine, we flip it back and forth between true and false depending on whether we have just passed through the pipes or not. That was how I figured out how to get past the whole like jumping thing. I mean, bunches of stuff as it got to the edge. So we add 1 to our score. This is the same. So now we have all kinds of things: checking for events, detecting collisions, update the score, update the bird, update the pipes, update the background. And even though that's not blitting in the right order, the background should be updated first. Even though that's not actually showing on the screen, it just makes more sense. Now, if the pipe is off the screen, reset them. We've done that before. Remember, we want to draw the background, draw the bird, and then draw the pipes. And what happens is, see how the bird goes? Oh, I guess he doesn't go through the pipe anymore. It really doesn't matter because he collides with the pipe, so I don't need that anymore, do I? Okay, never mind. We draw so the bird can be drawn before or after. Doesn't matter now. We do display our score every time because at any cycle, the score can change. And then we update our display. And there is our final version of the program. It works pretty nice. You can do a lot of things with it. You know, speed things up, put in 2 images instead of just 1. I've noticed a little bit of stuttering when I added the motion in here. So I think it's probably because it's transforming that image. And maybe not. Anyway, there we are. Have fun improving on my Flappy Bird.